But he called me and he's like, hey, I know you're getting out. He talked to me about what my plans were. He said, all this sounds great, but I would encourage you to join the reserves. I asked him why, and he's like, hey, like from a mental health standpoint, like it's good to be amongst Marines every now and then. And I'm not saying this from a clinical background. I'm saying this from an emotional standpoint. Like I feel at home amongst Marines.
I understand. It's what you're used to. It's what you're used to being around. Yeah, okay.
For seven straight years, yeah.
The brotherhood or sisterhood, depending on where you are in that rank. But yeah, I was in 5 years, 5 months, and 14 days, but who was counting? And then I was an active reserve. I said I was not going to go in the reserves. And the reason I was going to go in the reserves is because you could get pulled up to go to active duty. And everybody at the time was like, no, you'll never get called up. Well, no, I knew what they were doing with the forces and everything else. And I've interviewed so many people who were in reserves or in National Guard who was deployed more than the active duty people were deployed. And so just be careful when you go in the reserves that you are going to be pulled up for potential active duty. And you just have to understand that. But I understand what you mean by being around who you're used to. You've been around those people for so long, that's all you know. And when you get that's taken away from you, one, you've lost your purpose and you lost your people. So I totally understand that.
Absolutely. And some of my best friends on the civilian side are actually reservists because it's a great place to network and meet people with that like-minded experience that may be outside of your social circle or outside of your geographic location. But I'd be remiss if I didn't say, like everything you said about there is a distinct possibility of deployment and being called up to active duty, but also the healthcare. It is something that I found has kind of been a superpower that the reserve has empowered me with is I don't get my health insurance from my company. I get it from my service in the reserves. And I'll get more on that later, but with the reserve side,
you're already there.
Joined the reserves. I was.
Explain the healthcare so we don't have to come back to it because we'll forget.
All right. Thank you for the call out. So healthcare, I could have as many kids as I want because I also got married upon transitioning out of the Marine Corps and we were looking to have a family. You can have literally as many kids as you want and your healthcare doesn't go up. And dollar for dollar, it's still the government, so you always have to deal with that. But dollar for dollar, it's one of the best healthcare plans out there. And as long as you're in a good standing as a reservist, it's yours. And I'm not going to throw numbers out because I'll probably get it wrong, but it's significantly cheaper than what you'd be paying out of pocket with almost any corporate plan. And the fact that it comes from the reserve side, that gives you a very unique bargaining chip when you are going through the hiring process and when you're going for selection for, hey, if I have multiple offers, what is it that I want? Because so many of my friends who are not reservists are dealing with very, very tangible problems when it comes to, I hate my job and I want to leave, but I can't sacrifice coverage. Or between these two companies, this is the one I want to work for, but this one has the better package for my family's needs. And those types of decisions I don't have to deal with. And you can take that into an interview. You can leverage that. And it really empowered me to say no to opportunities because it's like, hey, like I can be just a reservist and continue working at a lower level job before I jump in because I don't need health insurance. I don't have to worry about that. And that has allowed me to really select which private companies I work for. And that type of freedom has something that I don't see on the civilian side with my non-reservist counterparts.
Gotcha.